Not as much tongue-in-cheek on this record as there is in a lot of the Nashville records I've made. I can't put my finger on it. There's definitely something that there's more Lou Reed on that record than there is Hank Sr. or whoever, you know. It was definitely comes from a different place. Kenny Sewell on drums and Jeremy Chatsky on the bass. And this fella named Wet Dog came in and played piano for about an hour. He laid down the piano on 3 tracks in an hour. And we all went out to lunch.
The pizza boy said, "You gotta be tough and Hoboken." He was laughing when he said it, but he wasn't joking. Pizza boy speaks truth, word to the wise. Hoboken bands may be all just little guys, but if you stick it out too far in that town, you'll get it broken.
There's a grittiness to a lot of the stuff on there. I've been trying to make the funny stuff and the sad stuff and the angry stuff. I've spent 20 years or more trying to mix all of them into one big stew where you don't know whether to laugh or to cry or hit somebody all at once. If I could get one line, all 3 of those emotions, then it's been a good day, you know. I think on this new record, I found that mixture. And maybe I couldn't have found it if I was at home playing with the same guys I've been playing with for decades. Now I'm playing with two guys, you know. I sort of knew Eric a little bit, not really that much actually, but we wanted to work with each other. And his bandmate in the Del Lords was Scott Kempner, who was also in the Dictators before that and after that. Scott and I met in Nashville. He played around at the Bluebird, and we got to be acquainted, and I gave him a copy of Cheese Chronicles, and he sent me a postcard from Spade a couple of weeks after that saying, "I love this book. How are you?" And I just happened to go to New York City for some reason or other, like a month later, and we hung out, and we got to know each other pretty well, and over the years. And Scott died pretty much almost exactly 2 years ago. And there was going to be a big send-off multi-act gig in New York it was in Manhattan on the corner of Bowery and Joey Ramone Place. And I sort of knew Eric by then. I'd played the Lakeside Lounge, which he
yeah.
I knew him from his records. And but until that night, you know, I flew up to play that gig, and I was the only one who wasn't doing a Scott Kempner song. I was doing my song that he recorded. So I got up there, and that night was the first night that we really hung out and talked a lot. And I was like, man, you know, if I made another record, will you consider producing me? You know, just innocently ask it for shits and giggles. And he said, absolutely. And I don't think either one of us knew how much we liked the other one. We recorded the record in a week, but got to know each other real well in that time. And then I flew up again in October of 24 for the mixing, which was just me and him. And I stayed at his apartment then that time. And we talk all the time now. He's a great guy, real sweet guy. And he knows how to make rock and roll records.
I love rock and roll, right? That's what he played guitar on.
I think he's the lead guitar on all of it. His picture is not on the record cover because he had already left the band.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. The manager, or the producer, somebody involved with the record, offered all the Blackhearts. You know, Joan Jett was going to make her piece off the record, however much that was. Somebody in charge, I don't want to accuse her manager or whoever it was. Somebody said, okay, each of you guys, I'll offer you $10,000 each right now to give up your half point on this record. The other two guys were like, yay, $10,000, let's take it, because it's another Joan Jett record. It's going to sell about 5 copies, so let's get that hard money right away. Yeah. And Eric said, no, I ain't giving up my half a point. I ain't doing it. And he was encouraged to leave the band before the photo shoot. The record was done, but they hadn't shot any pictures. They hadn't done any artwork, nothing. And because he refused to sign on the dotted line, he's made a lot of money. He's a smart cookie. He was Steve Earle's guitar player for a couple of years recently. Yeah, he shut the studio down and everything, went on the road with Steve. And when you're in Steve Earle's band, you are constantly on the road. Steve likes to play. You know, he's like one of those B.B. King type guys, 250, 300 dates a year. He's out there playing.
How often are you on the road, and are you able to make it that way, or?
I don't go on the road nearly as much as I used to. I've got a couple of road trips coming up at the end of this month, and I'll need them because I'll need the money. I don't like being away from home, but I don't like not playing gigs either. You either do one or the other. Now, I could be, you know, if I was a more successful songwriter, I'm in the town that's the capital of the world for that, I wouldn't have to go on the road. I'd just make my money from people recording my songs, but I don't write that kind of song. In order for me to reach an audience, I have to go where they are. And I like the gigs. I like that first hour on the road when I'm getting out of town, where you feel all Jack Kerouac and you're going to go out in search of the real America. And about an hour later, it's like, it's a drive. And see, the show is free. You pay me for the drive because I'm just like a truck driver that delivers music.
Drugstore truck driving man. Hey, everybody, check down in the comments. I want to see you guys. I want y'all to click on this first link. Y'all going to start with the Cheese Chronicles. I want y'all to read that first. You buy yourself some Government Cheese records and you listen to the Cheese Chronicles, and you can just chronologically move right through Tommy's life. You can go right on up there and you can buy every book and you buy every record all the way up until today's record.
Live a little.
Well, record sales are shit for everybody. And Lucinda, Steve, no matter who you are, you know, everybody's out there gigging because the record sales royalties are just not what they used to be.
Tommy, let me ask you this. How much does merchandise make up for a lot of the lost revenue? I know that a few of the bands, it seems like that's a big part of what's going on with them, but I'll let you answer that for you.
The merch sales are vital. Without the merch sales, you can't do this. If you go out there with nothing, but you know what you're going to make from the tip bucket. Sometimes, you know, you're going to lose money. You won't be able to pay your gas. You got to have, you know, even if it's just T-shirts, even if it's just that, you gotta have something to peddle to people. You know, degrading, it gets embarrassing, you know, it'll make you feel like you're at a Tupperware party. You know, if you're playing a house concert and you say, please buy some merch, you know, it's a little embarrassing, but everybody is equally embarrassed doing it together. Well, that's the rule now. It used to be you didn't sell your stuff at shows. You didn't go out in front. You know, you stayed backstage and you got in the van and drove off.
At a house show, you're missing an opportunity selling Tommy Womack branded Tupperware. itself, like actual Tupperware. You could literally sell Tupperware as part of your merchandise. Hey, we're getting there. Sick.
Where's mine?
Another thing to check the comments for. All the links, everybody. Let's go watch that show, buy that cup.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for free to receive more content like this. If you liked this video, please check out these other recommended videos. Don't forget to visit the links in the description and check the comments to share your thoughts. Thanks again.